Hello world. First, my name's Elizabeth. Obviously, you see it on my YouTube channel. What I am trying to do with this channel and these videos is to educate people and end the stigma of bipolar disorder. There's a huge stigma about it. People don't like talking about it. People are ashamed to admit they have it. I'm not ashamed. I totally embrace the fact that, I'm screwed up in the head, but I do my best to try to fix it. And I also want the ones out there who are ashamed and who feel alone to know you are not alone in this struggle. There are plenty of us. One of the myths about bipolar disorder is that it's rare. It's not. 2 million Americans suffer from bipolar disorder, and that's just the ones that we know about. Those are just the ones that are officially diagnosed. So that was just one myth that I'm going to broach on later, but I have a cheat sheet, even though I have extensively researched this topic since the day I was diagnosed, or better yet, the day I was released from the mental hospital, after I was diagnosed. So, fun fact, bipolar disorder is often genetic. Sometimes it can be environmental, but more often than not, the environmental part of it is just what triggers it to present itself. It may present itself later in life. It may present itself in childhood. It may start to present itself in little forms in childhood that cause misdiagnosis, which happened to me. I've been misdiagnosed since I was probably 6. I've always struggled with mental illness. There was always something going on, but they never actually got it right up until 3 years ago when I was 35. So you can just imagine what it was like living in my head, not knowing what was wrong with me, and always being prescribed the wrong medications, which made shit worse. Anyway, moving on from that one. The topics I'm going to broach on today, I'm just going to go into the basics. I will eventually be delving deeper into these things in later videos, but right now I just want to go over the topic briefly. I don't want to go too deep into it. I'm just going to go ahead and dive right into my little cheat sheet here. One of the issues with bipolar disorder is self-harm, which is self-injury without the ideation of suicide. We hurt ourselves, cut ourselves, scratch ourselves, burn ourselves, headbang, punch shit, break bones. There's other gruesome things that are done that I'm not going to go into because I really don't want my first video to be that gross. Hold on a second. And no, I'm really not supposed to be drinking these. I'm in a manic episode, but whatever. I love my bangs. I am lucid right now, but I've been in a manic episode for a few weeks. We've been tweaking my meds because of some side effects that I was having, so I haven't been able to get quite as big of a handle on it as I usually do. It's messed me up a little bit. Another fun fact, which is also in my little cheat sheet, but on another part of it. Manic and depressive episodes can change your appetite. For me, I don't eat. It's not that I don't want to eat. I can't eat. It makes me nauseous. It makes me physically ill. It's just food. Looking at food makes me want to vomit. I've lost 10 pounds in the past 2 weeks because I haven't been able to eat. So that's one little, fact about it. Issue. Fun. I'm going to skip that part till the end. Hold on. I'm just going to go over here and go straight to the facts and the myths about it. As I said earlier, one of the myths is that bipolar disorder is rare. Not true. Another myth is bipolar disorder is just mood swings. That's total bullshit. We experience extreme changes in energy, activity, sleep. It's more than just emotions. It's more than just getting angry, pissed off, happy, sad, or whatever. Hold on. I'm not going to go into that yet. I've got more on that later. Just bear with me. This is my first YouTube video, so anyway. Some people believe that bipolar disorder can be cured with diet and exercise. Now, while it can be managed with diet and exercise and also the proper treatment and medication, bipolar disorder is an incurable illness. It's something that we're going to suffer the rest of our lives. I'm going to be on medication for the rest of my life. That is a hard thing for me to accept. I don't like that, but I have to if I'm going to stay well. And I have to stay well because, I've got so many other issues going on in my life right now. Don't even get me started. But I have to stay well. Bipolar disorder doesn't just affect us. It affects our loved ones. It affects our family. It affects our friends. It affects people, we work with. It's really hard for our family and friends to watch us go through what we go through and not know what to do. They can't help us. They don't know what to do to help us. I mean, there's nothing they can do to help us. They can just be supportive and become educated on this disorder. It's one of the best things you can do. If you have a loved one who is bipolar, educate yourself. I cannot stress that enough. Educate yourself. That way, you know how to handle for yourself what's going on. Even though you might not be able to help them, you can help yourself, which in turn helps us. Because if our loved ones don't know what's going on with us, it can cause us a lot more stress, which can make our episodes worse. I've experienced that a lot before. My family, they have now educated themselves and they learn what's going on with me. So now it's not so bad. Before, it was horrible. Hold on, I'm going to pause this just a second. Okay, now back to where I was. Yeah, diet and exercise. The proper treatment. The proper medications, which unfortunately is also not an umbrella issue. You cannot treat every bipolar disorder the same. The same medications are not going to work for me that might work for somebody else. The same medications that work for somebody else won't work for me. The medications that I have been on, I've been on Geodon, which was horrible. Oh my God, that was the most awful medication I think I've ever been on in my life. Then I was put on lithium, Seroquel, Klonopin, Remeron, and Lunesta, and I will name in order what they are. Mood stabilizer, an antipsychotic, an anti-anxiety, and bipolar antidepressant, and a sleeping pill. I'm not on all of those anymore because I have learned to get a handle on things, and my talk therapy does work. So some of the things we backed off on, and we're also tweaking them a little bit just because of some side effects that I've been having. The bipolar disorder is a fucking horrible thing to have to go through. But with the right management, it's livable. Another myth is that mania is a good mood. You're happy all the time. You're overjoyed. No. Mania can also include extreme bouts of irritability, agitation, anger, blowing up at the smallest shit that, would normally never bother us. When you're manic, you can also hallucinate, which, this is with mania or depression. Hallucinate, delusions, paranoia. I thought people were after me. I thought my husband was trying to kill me before. I don't even want to get into my hallucinations because some of them are scary as shit, but I have very vivid auditory and visual hallucinations. Anxiety, overspending, impulsive sex. We lose control of our own thoughts, of our own actions. We lose touch with reality, which goes back to the whole delusional thing. People think that we're always manic or depressed. No, not always. We can have very long, enjoyable periods of a balanced and level mood, but then our episodes hit. Now, if we're on medication and we're going through therapy, they are few and far between. They're much easier to manage. They're much easier to get a hold on, and they don't last as long. Fun fact, before I got on medication and began treatment, I would have episodes that would last a month. I think 6 months one time. Now, not, manic or depressed the entire time. I did have levels of regularity, but most of the time I was manic for weeks, and it's physically exhausting, it's mentally exhausting. It takes more than just a emotional toll on you. It can take days to recover from a serious episode. I might be exhausted and sleep for 2 days. I might be restless and irritated and agitated coming out of the episode, but eventually I'm okay again. Again, all meds are not the same. You can't treat us all the same. Where am I at? Some symptoms of mania include being overly happy for an extended period of time. Now, some people might not think that's a bad thing, but the thing is, we are extremely open, happy, excitable, fast talking, racing thoughts. If it gets bad enough, then we can become very reckless, very impulsive. I used to shoplift when I was manic. I don't anymore, but it's gotten me in trouble. it was just a thing. Sometimes it was fun. Sometimes I didn't realize I was doing it. Sometimes I couldn't stop myself. It was just a thing I did. We can become easily distracted, which is obviously why I made my little list. So that I can keep myself on track. Grandiose thinking. Again, we think we can do things that we can't. We think we are bigger and we are better than what we actually are. Nothing can touch us. We can do anything. Again, the risky behavior. Gambling, spending sprees, sex, random sex, randos. You don't know. You might go pick some rando up from a bar, go home and sleep with them, without a condom. I mean, that's just the shit that happens. Just because you have some of these things going on doesn't mean you have bipolar disorder. But if you do have things go on like this that become a problem, it might not be a bad idea to get evaluated. Excuse me a burp. Some of your signs are depression. Feeling sad and hopeless. Everybody gets the downs. Everybody gets the blues. The difference is you feel sad and hopeless for so long that you lose all sense of self. You might not get off the couch for days. You might not shower for days. You might not change clothes for days. You might get up every day, take a shower, put your pajamas back on, and get back on the couch. You might not go to work. You get fired because of it. I mean, it's hard to hold down, a regular lifestyle and, enjoy regular things with this disorder, even when you are medicated. When you're not going through treatment, it is so much worse. Change in appetite. Again, you might binge. You might not eat at all. You might throw up. Severe fatigue, is not just being tired. It's just when your body doesn't want to go. You might feel like you have 50-pound weights tied to every joint on your body. Fatigue is not just about being tired. It's about not being able to do anything. And then you have your memory, your concentration, your decision-making issues, which again can happen with mania, but with depression, it's just that you don't care, or that you don't think it matters, or, you don't want to leave your house. Suicidal ideation. This is a fun one. And again, this one can happen in mania too. I am a suicide attempt survivor. Suicide ideation does not necessarily mean you've tried to kill yourself. It means you thought about it. Now, I'm sure everybody's thought, oh God, I wish I could just die. The difference is, with suicidal ideation, you seriously think about it. You think about it, you plan it. You think about how you're going to execute it, but you might not. You stop yourself. But then you have those like me who have tried. I've split my wrist before. I've stepped out in front of a truck before. I've held a rifle to my chin before. These are very hard things for me to admit openly because it's a very sad truth. And it's a very hard thing for me to think back and remember. Not just because of the fact that I wanted to end my life, but what I was feeling in those moments that made me want to end my life. If it wasn't for my dog, honestly, I wouldn't be here right now. I held a 9mm rifle to my chin one time, and my dog put her head in my lap, and I couldn't do it. And y'all, give me just a second. Okay, I had to, get myself together just a little bit. Now the real side of things. No, there's no cure. And like I said, I'm going to be on medication the rest of my life. Anybody in their right, anybody, this is so funny to say, but any bipolar disorder person in their right mind will be on medication for the rest of their life. That's the thing. You got to be consistent with your medication and your treatment. It's so easy to say that I feel better. I can stop taking this. This has worked. I can stop now. The thing is, bipolar disorder is a chemical imbalance in our brains. It's a chemical imbalance in our bodies. We may feel better while we're taking our meds, but that's because the meds are fixing that chemical imbalance that we're dealing with. You stop taking your meds, and the chemical imbalance will come back. You got to stay on your therapy. Your meds. You got to stay in your therapy, even in between episodes. As easy as it is to quit. And I found that out the hard way. You can't. Just don't do that. You've got to fix yourself. Nobody's going to fix you. You've got to do it for yourself. You've got to want to be well for yourself. not just for others, not for your loved ones, not for your friends, not for the people around you. You've got to do this for you. Because if not, you're not going to make it. Now, on to a really, really, really serious part of this. Hold on, I got to flip back to my cheat sheet just a little bit. And this one is a big subject for me too, because I am also a recovered addict. I've been sober this time for just a little over 3 years. I'm a meth addict, a pill addict, you name it. I've you know, your basic drugs I've done. And it's not just doing drugs for recreational. It's self-medicating. Now, I haven't done anything since I've gotten treatment. 3 years ago in June, I checked myself into a mental hospital. After the rifle and truck incident, I decided a couple days later, I said, I can't do this anymore. There's something wrong with me. I can't fix it. I need help. And I was institutionalized for a couple weeks, and then the next month I was institutionalized for another week. The thing is, when you look at us, you see an addict, you see an alcoholic. But the truth is, we did those things because we could not stand what was going on in our own head. We did not understand what was going on in our own head. We were doing anything to feel something other than what we felt, to be in another place other than what we were. At least I know that's in my case. So don't, the next time you're looking at somebody and you see somebody struggling, you see somebody struggling with addiction, you see somebody struggling with alcoholism, you see somebody, just struggling, don't look at them and just think, hey, gross, there's an addict, there's an alcoholic, there's a piece of shit who doesn't want to do anything with their lives. Don't always automatically assume that, because it's not always the case. You may be looking at somebody who is struggling with what's going on in their head, and they're struggling for breath, and they're struggling just to make it through every day, trying to figure out what's going on and not knowing. So yeah, that's just, my little basic rundown of, bipolar disorder. It's not an order. It's not everything that goes along with bipolar disorder. It's definitely not as deep as I could go, but it's as deep as I'm going to go on this first video. So yeah, like, subscribe, tell your friends about this. There's going to be more videos. I video when I'm manic. I video when I'm depressed. I video when I have anxiety. I even video the aftermath, and I show people what it does to us physically. So what I'm hoping to do with these videos and this channel is to put out there what we go through so people will understand. Education is the key to helping people like me. And don't think you're alone. You're not. There are so many people out there who suffer right along with you. As a matter of fact, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'm very open. I don't care. I will answer open and honestly. I really hope I don't get any negative responses, but if I do, I'll deal with that too. It's like, whatever. I'm here to help. That's what I want to do. Anyway, so I'm going to get off here. Because, like I said, this first video probably sucked ass because I was all over the place. But I'll be more structured from here on out. I'm going to get a little bit better as my videos go on, I'm sure. Mwah! I love you all. Peace.